So before we get started with the main points of the video, I want to let you know that I am starting to put all of the products and items and different things that I showcase and install and talk about in my videos in the description. So if you see something that I've installed recently and you're looking for where you can actually go buy it, look in the description of the video. I've put as many Amazon links as possible because I am a huge Amazon Prime fan, and I've put links to manufacturers' websites if there was no quick way to just purchase it from Amazon. So we are back here at Ron Hoover RV to talk about Class Bs and Class Cs. Now, when you're looking at purchasing a Class B or a Class C, you really need to narrow your choice down by asking yourself a few questions. The first of which is the 3 R's. Are you looking for an RV that is designed as a residential style, a retreat style, or a resting style? And let's talk about that a little further. A residential style RV is going to be one that mimics being in a home, a condo, an apartment, something that basically gives you the ability to stay in it for a long period of time. A retreat style is going to be a smaller unit that gives you the ability to use it as a retreat from the wilderness. Whenever you're done hiking or going to wherever you're going to see whatever sights you're seeing, and you're using it as a retreat from whatever you've been doing. And then a rest style is going to be your smallest, and those are generally going to be your Class Bs or your small Class Cs. And those are going to be more for people who are going to be out in the wilderness, out and exploring the campground or the areas around them, the parks and things like that, and they need an RV to rest in. Basically one that isn't really designed with a lot of luxury amenities, but more so to, have a place to lay down at the end of the day to get your energy back or to cook a small meal. Now, this Concorde right here is going to be more of a residential style. It's going to have a much larger floor plan inside. It's going to have multiple slides, and it's going to be a better choice for those who really are going to spend a lot of time in their RV and need the extra room or have a large family. Residential style Class Cs are going to generally have the largest amount of space, especially for a bedroom, queen size bed in its own slide, plus a lot of wardrobe space, as well as a stand-up shower and a restroom. Because this floor plan is designed for longer stays and larger families, it's going to give you much more space inside. It's also going to be the hardest to park and maneuver because it's roughly the length of a small Class A. So the length of these things can range anywhere from about 33 feet all the way up to about 36 feet. And you're going to have to be cautious of where and how you use it. So this is going to meet that first R, residential style. This is going to give you a lot of room, big dinette, sofa, full kitchen. It gives you a lot of capabilities to have an extended stay without feeling cramped. But because of the overall length of this specific coach, you may find it difficult to maneuver in national parks or campgrounds that have smaller slips. Now, this Winnebago is also a Class C. This rides on a Mercedes chassis. This is going to be the retreat style. So this is going to give you the ability to retreat to your RV with many luxury amenities, however, not quite the room. And it's also going to be designed for a slightly smaller family. So in this specific floor plan, you can easily tell you don't have quite the room. You have a sofa right here. It is on a slide. One of the nice things about this setup, as well as the Class C that we just looked at, the larger Concorde, is that you will have access to the restroom even if you have all your slides in, which can be important to a lot of people. Being able to pull up to a Walmart and stay the night or boondock and still be able to access your restroom is a very, very important feature for people who are on the move a lot. This is a really nice floor plan for people who want an RV to retreat to. Basically one where they may spend a good amount of time in the RV, but at the same time, they're going to be out and about, hiking and doing other activities. Generally, because of the shorter size, this type of RV is going to give you more ability to squeeze into smaller RV parks or national parks, areas where, the length of your RV can really impact where you can take it. This specific unit does have a full bathroom as well, so it's not a wet bath. You have a full stand-up shower with quite a bit of room actually, and about 6.5 feet of headspace. Porcelain toilet, as well as a small sink. This area right here reminds me of an airplane bathroom or a lavatory. You're still going to get your full kitchen, so you have a refrigerator and freezer, microwave oven, your TV up top, as well as a cooktop and a dual basin sink. The construction on this unit's very nice, and it's very high-end. It has very nice cabinetry, very nice drawers, nice pulls. Everything in this unit is very nice. These units can easily run up into the $120,000, $130,000 or more price range. So when you're looking at price compared to, say, a fifth wheel or a travel trailer, you have to keep in mind, even though you get a lot with these in terms of a motorhome, you're still looking at probably the combined price of a travel trailer and truck or a fifth wheel and truck. In many cases, you're going to have to put a tow vehicle behind one of these, or a towed vehicle. Basically a small vehicle that you can tow around with you, because just like a travel trailer or a Class A or a fifth wheel, when you get it to an RV park, you're likely going to have it connected, and you're going to have all your sewer lines, your water lines, everything connected, so it's not going to be super convenient to try to disconnect it just to go on a small excursion or to run to the store to pick something up. You know, one of the biggest reasons that people claim a Class B, C, or even A is the best type of RV for them is because it gives you the ability to move from the front of the vehicle to the back of the vehicle without leaving the vehicle. So if you're going to pull up again into a Walmart to boondock, or into a national park, or an area where you're camping and you don't plan on hooking up, there is a lot of convenience in simply getting out of the driver's seat and moving to the back of your coach. Or if you're traveling and you don't mind someone moving around in your coach, then cook a meal or make a sandwich or do something while the coach is still in motion, or while you're pulled over at a truck stop without having to move from the pickup truck to the RV in the back. So there is a convenience aspect to it. Now let's take a look at this Coachman E450. So one thing you'll notice about this specific unit is the space inside. This rides on a Ford E450 chassis and has a super slide right here, which gives you a lot of room when it's out. You have definitely more floor space in this than you did in that Mercedes. However, there are some things you want to be concerned about. First of all, having a slide is great, and in this particular unit, you can use this area as seating while you're traveling. You also see it has a nice sized kitchen, but here's one of the challenges with this unit. As you go back, the bedroom is also on a slide. It gives you more room in here, but when your slide is in, it is going to completely block access to the bathroom, which means if you're traveling or if you're going to be boondocking somewhere, you will have to stop, pull this slide out so you can access the restroom. Some people like the ability to use the restroom while they're in motion, while they're driving, or at least have access to it. In this particular coach, you wouldn't have any access to it while in motion unless you stop and extend the slide in here. A unit like this would fall into the retreat and residential category simply because it has a lot more space than a Class B. It has a pretty good sized floor plan. You have a lot of seating room. However, it is definitely a little smaller than, say, that Concorde, which has more isolation between the rooms, and it also does not give you access to the restroom while the coach is in motion. So the other piece you also have to consider with something like this is it's probably going to be riding with a gas engine, and you're not going to have the option for a diesel. Because of that, it's going to limit your ability to tow a vehicle, and if you plan on towing a small car, it would have to be a really small car. So now looking at this Ford Connect, this is actually pretty cool. This is called a CrossFit. This is a Class B unit, which means it's going to ride on a van chassis. It does not have any slides, but you're really going to like the interior of this thing. It's very compact. It's the size of, say, a conversion van. It has a full kitchen, along with refrigerator and freezer, plus a microwave, air conditioning unit, a lot of cabinetry. And this back area is the area where you would sleep and also dine. It has 2 couches, and it also converts into a large bed. This is cool because it basically allows you to go anywhere with it. This definitely falls into the rest category of Class B and C's. This is designed for you to be the person that is out there in the wilderness, out there hiking, exploring and enjoying the trails, doing whatever you enjoy doing outside of the RV, but then having a nice place to come back to cook a meal, take a shower, and rest. You can see it has a wet bath, basically the ability for you to take a bath in the same area that you would use a restroom. Now, what's nice about these units is that they're very compact, and you would be hard-pressed to find a park that this wouldn't fit in. What is also nice about these is that they generally get a little bit better fuel economy than you would get in a Class C. So you're going to probably see in the 12 to 20 mile per gallon range on something like this on the highway. 20 might be a little on the high side, more maybe like 17 or 18, whereas on your traditional Class C, you're probably going to see anywhere from a 9 to 12 miles per gallon range on something like that. On that Concorde over there, it's probably going to be closer to about 7 or 8 to 11 miles to a gallon. Again, you want to keep in mind, though, that even these small Class Bs are going to have full hookups on the side. You're going to have your power connection, your city water, your sewer, all of those connections on the side. So when you're at a campground and you are connected, you really can't use your RV to travel around in. So you may need to have a tow vehicle, something that you tow with your RV. That's going to be more prevalent with Class A's and C's. However, it is something to think about, because if you're thinking of having one of these for the pure convenience of packing up and going, oftentimes you're still going to have to factor in the time to connect a towed vehicle, which would probably equal the amount of time it takes to connect a fifth wheel to a pickup truck. And if you do plan on connecting a towed vehicle, it is significantly going to drop the fuel economy that you're going to get while towing. Now, the next question you really have to ask yourself is, how many people are going to be traveling with you? How many people does your coach need to sleep? Even though there are quite a few floor plans available for Class B and C coaches, there aren't nearly as many as you would get with travel trailers or fifth wheels, and they're going to be limited as far as overall space utilization. So for instance, this is a pretty large Class C, but as you can see, there's not a lot of kitchen space. And this is going to be pretty typical of most Class C's. You may get a little bit more than that, such as you saw in some of the other coaches. However, you're not going to have this huge variety of kitchens or this huge variety of living room accommodations simply because of how they're designed. Most Class C's and most Class B's give you the ability to move around inside of the coach, and because of that, they can't impede too many areas when slides are in. For instance, when both slides are in, which this unit has opposing slides, they only pull in about 2 feet on each side, so you still have about 1.5 feet of space in the center to move around. On many fifth wheels and travel trailers, if you have opposing slides, when they're in, there's no way you can squeeze between them to make your way to the back of the coach, because they're not designed to be occupied while they're on the road, which is a big difference from a Class A, B, or C. One thing to keep in mind when you are shopping for a Class B or C is you really want to take it for a test drive, and not just on smooth roads. You want to take it on rougher roads or roads that have maybe dividers or imperfections in it, simply because the suspension on these coaches can vary dramatically, and you can have some units that ride really, really smooth and some units that toss you around quite a bit. So you definitely want to take it out on the road and see how it feels. Units with larger tires and larger wheels are generally going to give you a slightly better ride. For instance, this unit right here has a taller profile tire than this unit right here. So the taller profile tire is inherently going to give you a little bit of a smoother ride. And then one final thing to really consider is gas or diesel. You're going to have the choice with both classes on whether to get a diesel or gas engine. Class Bs are primarily going to be gas engines, while Class Cs give you a little bit more of a choice. However, a diesel option is going to raise the price significantly. Most of the time, the price range between a Class B and a Class C will be anywhere between about $50,000 all the way up to about $150,000 to $200,000. So again, you have to look at that value point as well. Something like this is going to be a lot less expensive than something like this, mainly because of the design, the fact that these are more readily available, and it's not going to be built the same. It's not going to be built like the van chassis, which has to really be designed around the interior of the van. These are usually built in more of a mass production, and because of that, the price generally goes down quite a bit. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.